Okay. Okay, hi guys. So we've got a special recording for you today. This is Natalie, who's been doing our 6-week transformation challenge. And because we've been doing everything basically online, and Natalie's been doing the whole thing online, that's why this chat's online as well. So I'll say hi again, Natalie.
Hi.
And also, we did have a wee chuckle when we first came online. It appears we've got the same bed. Because actually both went on, and it's like, oh, that's really funny. We've both chosen just to sit on a bed to do this chat. So there you go. So before we get into the actual kind of nitty gritty of how you've got on the 6 weeks, Natalie, I just want to kind of try and paint a picture for people who maybe don't know you, in terms of like, what have you going on in your life in terms of, you know, kids, partner, work? Like, what's your, because everybody's situation could be a little bit different just now. So what's your situation, if you can paint a picture?
So I've got a little girl who's 18 months. Yep. And I'm also still working. I'm an intensive care staff nurse. So I am like right in the throes of like all of this coronavirus stuff. But I'm still working full time. My partner is also a key worker. He works in like the aeronautical industry, so he is also still working full time. So we are literally, when I'm at home, he's at work, and vice versa. I'm like trying to organise childcare, obviously. Yep. so both still working, and yeah, like life with a toddler as well. Yeah, it's been pretty hectic.
And I obviously empathise having a similar aged kid as well. I couldn't imagine having both of us working full time too. So yeah, that's, I guess I wanted to get that information from you just now, because when people think of that scenario of both you and your husband working full time, toddler, and especially the work being in high dependency intensive care, working with COVID patients, highly stressful scenario, yet you chose the last 6 weeks or so to try and make some positive changes to your physical, mental health, if you like. So I get, for some people, I'd be like, this is possibly the worst time to do that in some people's eyes. All right. So why for you did you choose to like think, right, okay, I want to make some changes here?
Well, I'd been thinking about it for a long time, like as Alice was becoming more active, because I used to be like quite active and really healthy and everything, and then after I got pregnant and had my little one, then I just found every excuse in the book to not do anything. But then after I went back to work and like she was becoming more active, I was realising my energy levels just weren't sufficient to keep up, you know, the amount of energy that I needed. I was really struggling with work. I was feeling, you know, my sleep was really broken, and I was literally surviving on caffeine and chocolate. But I just, like with the lockdown as well, obviously it was even less active than I would normally be, and I just was kind of getting myself into a rut, and I was starting to reach a point where I felt sick of my excuses. But it was never about, I mean, yeah, it would be great to feel like I looked healthier or anything, but it was never about reaching a certain size or reaching a certain weight. I just wanted to feel better, like more healthy, and to be able to set a better role model for my little one, you know, and to realise that like chocolate isn't the best, like, you know, she eats the best of everything, and then I was just feeding myself in between with whatever to get me through the day. So, but you know, I needed more energy for being at work, and I needed more energy for her. I just wanted to feel healthier. So
no, that's pretty cool when you think about it, when you take that perspective of, yeah, it's a difficult time, but actually you maybe need to get yourself into as best a possible place, health-wise, energy-wise, so you're able to cope that a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that's a perspective I would love most people to take, but it's, you know, people obviously have to come to that realization, I guess, themselves.
Like when I was in this journey before, that probably wasn't always my outlook. It was more, you know, like about a physical appearance. But I suppose, you know, changing priorities and circumstances has kind of changed my outlook a little bit. So it's not just about myself.
How have you kind of made it work for you in terms of eating better and exercising?
So the exercises actually worked really well for me with being online. Like obviously my shifts are all over the place. I do like 3 or 4 like 13-hour days, plus my travel on top of that. So I'm out from 6 in the morning till like sometimes 9 p.m. And then my days in between, like my little one still has a nap, so if she's down, then I find my workouts I can kind of do it then, or I wait until she's in bed, or sometimes if she has lots of energy then she'll join in with me, which has been quite fun. And with regards to eating, like I've never been great at like preparing ahead, but I've been finding, like sort of batch cooking things like a couple of days in advance, like preparing if I know I've got work coming up, then making things that are quite easy for me, like overnight oats. I can just chuck that in the fridge overnight and then that's ready for me in the morning, or like soups and things in the slow cooker or anything have been quite easy because then it's there and I don't really need to think about it. Like with the nicer, warmer weather, like salads are so easy for me to throw together, like with a bit of protein on top. So it hasn't taken a whole lot of overthinking, but it's been nice to have that change actually.
Excellent. And how are you? I mean, it's only been 6 weeks or so, but how are you feeling different?
I've got loads more energy, definitely. Like I find my sleep is more consistent. Like I'm getting a good solid sleep and I feel like refreshed at the end of it. I don't, like before I would have a night's sleep and I would wake up feeling exhausted, and quite regularly I would nap when my little one was still napping, but I don't feel the need to do that now. And I'm not feeling as exhausted at the end of my work days. I mean, yeah, it's tiring, but I'm not reaching halfway through the day and going, right, I really need something to like give me a pick me up here. And I've been getting out quite regularly for wee walks and things, and that isn't a challenge for me anymore. Not as much anyway. But yeah.
That's fantastic in such a short period. It's just to emphasise to people, anybody watching this, and I've always said it to people, like you can feel you might not get back to a physical place where you were in 6 weeks. You might not, it depends, but I think you can feel better very quickly. Just by making some fairly simple changes. So have you got company?
I've got company.
Aye, yeah. That's all right, don't worry. We're nearly done anyway.
That's all right, she's going to join us.
You going to join us? Hiya, cheeky. That's a new experience. So you've probably done FaceTime and Zoom a lot, I imagine.
Yeah.
So just one last question then, like what results have you actually achieved in the 6 weeks in terms of losses? Can you remember?
So I think I'm about 19 pounds down, and something like about maybe 60 centimetres in total off. Yeah. And then a full dress size. So.
Fantastic. Yeah, I counted. I quite often look at people's waist measurements to see what that's changed. I think you've lost 14 centimetres off your waist.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So a great start. I know it's gonna just the beginning for you again as a new phase in your life, but well done.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll give you a virtual high five.
I won't leave you hanging.
All right, don't leave me hanging now. That'd be really embarrassing. Cool. All right, I'll leave you to go and put the wee one down.
Thank you.
I'll speak to you very soon.
Great, thanks.